Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Patrons video today that I make for Yida as part of their custom monthly music review. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen. As I understand it, this is a track titled Come Together. It feats from 7Fat, Luke Sui, composed by AFU, and producer apparently is AFU and Diary H or something like that. It's like a team effort, and we're going to listen through this track from start to finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. So my understanding is it's like about the Taiwanese baseball team or something like that. Like a national pride kind of thing, you know? I mean, it's got a hell of a lot of oomph to it with all the different instruments involved. Oh, so crazy. So Taiwan won against the US. That's fantastic. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's awesome. That's well worth celebrating. Winning against the United States is pretty phenomenal.
Taiwan #1, 中华队加油！
It's sort of a surreal experience watching this, like, because you're listening to the music and it's it's what this is. It's trying to sort of represent that. Most definitely something to celebrate, right? So that was Come Together from 7Fat with Luke Sui and everyone else involved. And we're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. So as you got lyrics here, take out your fearless wings and help me out on my own turf. Let's go. You can live up to your dreams. Very handsome, play ball together. All right, I get it. No, it's fine. I feel like life is like a ball game. As long as you can stay the course, you can turn defeat into victory. The most fascinating Taiwanese dream. We don't care if we win or lose against others. We just want to win against our past selves. Together we make a huge wave. We endeavor to forge in the face of challenges and will not be influenced by anyone. We want to shine like the sun, shining brightly in the sky. Yeah, awesome. That's great. We're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named 7Fat, titled Come Together. What I think this track is about, I think it's not only about baseball, it's also about Taiwan as a country coming together and celebrating its win not only over USA in this tournament, but also their sort of like their identity, coming together to overcome challenges, just trying to not necessarily be better than other people, but trying to be the best that they themselves can be. And I think that that's actually something that's really beautiful. I've got no complaints whatsoever about that. I think that's a wonderful story, and it's really important to be proud of who you are. So, nice. This track is sung really well. It's got a very kind of wholesome feel to it. It's very uplifting with that majorish push, that kind of sort of like punk rockish kind of, I don't know how to describe it, sort of like Sum 41 garage rockish kind of vibe to it. I think that, again, the vocals, they were anthemic and the melodies were catchy, and the chants of like, the crowd chants that they had in some parts, either as call and responses or by themselves, were really uplifting as well. It just sounded like the crowd was with the baseball team, you know. I think we had solid vocal technique. We were comfortable in our range there. We understood how to coalesce and amalgamate with the existing stuff within the progressions and instrumental backing, and it was just, they clearly wanted to be there for the performance, so the expression there was tight. Overall, a really believable performance that was uplifting as well and sold the story well. The track at 3 minutes 30, I think, is well crafted. We have pianos and guitars and bass and drums. Not all the time. We have a lot of interesting drum fills and transitions, pauses there with the keys just kind of hover over and establish a very kind of almost sort of neoclassical-ish kind of progression that I'm very sort of familiar with. But it just loops really well. It's like it cut into 2 halves with 8 chords in a row, which extends it. And if you layer enough interesting sort of like distorted rhythm guitar parts with power chords and string skip bits in there, and a bass line that thrives underneath that pressure in the low end, keeping a great sense of unity with the drums there, pushing forward with that normal time, occasionally moving into halftime, etc. Just like mixing things up with a mixture of different snare and tom patterns in those breaks. It's just phenomenal. I mean, you have like lead guitar parts as well. We do a bit of shred, some bendy bits there, some arpeggiated, so on and so forth. And it's just a nice foil or addition to the piece on top of any of the key accompaniments or the main leads and the chants. And it was nice to have parts, like for example in this track, which has different verses and choruses and interludes and stuff like that. It's nice to just simply have the palm muted sort of rhythm guitars kind of quietly pushing you forward just with the kicks. That 16th sort of offbeat sort of snare patterns in those chorus propelling us forward. And then we slow down again for that interlude there, working on the rides. And we explore the capabilities of the different instruments involved there in a way which is very positive. And I think that key change that we had a bit later on there was really stellar as well. It was further uplifting, like literally as well as figuratively. And it was really charming, man. Like honestly, just it was very satisfying. Like you were going up with the team and everything like that. It was cool. I think the theme overall kind of wanted to celebrate in a sense of regality, or especially those octave guitar chords that shone them into high range there. It was just a very charming piece with a lot of energy, a lot of charisma, and it had enough in there to keep you intrigued and interested throughout. It wasn't trying to alienate people or add anything too sort of wild in there. Like we messed around with chromatics occasionally, you know, we worked with some sort of like modular shifts there and some of the transitions, but ultimately it's just a piece there which understood that it was trying to be an anthem. It was in that sort of majorish key there. Even if there were some minor chordal bits there, it was never trying to be sort of down in the dumps. It was meant to be, again, a celebration, and everyone had a great chemistry. The performance was tight without a note out of place. And yeah, again, great chemistry. The studio recording, mixing and mastering was tight, you know, commercial grade. The guitar, bass, drums, piano, vocals, everything in the mix was nice and tight within the frequency spectrum and stereo field surrounding you in the headphones there. Those dynamic range things were in the same loudness all the time. And I just think it was just the power of the distorted guitars there, the kind of push and pull maybe of the challenge of the competition kind of letting you know, oh no, we're going forward. Yeah, we're finally pushing forward. I think it was having that kind of movement in the chorus that made you feel like that was the right direction there, which was nice and symbolic. You could hear the vocals clearly. They could just sing really well. And it was nice and loud without pumping to the bus compression. Limiting was handled. And effectively just a really stellar piece from 7Fat titled Come Together. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via the various social medias and YouTube page. And stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SB Patrons video. And congrats on the Taiwan team for the win once again. Spiderhands out.